Hello, welcome once again. We're now moving on to the 13D in the Matchbox 1 to 75 range. The fourth model to be produced in number 13. So we've seen the Bedford, we've seen the Thames Trader. Or sorry, we haven't seen the Bedford. I talked about the Bedford. So this is the 13D rec truck, and this features, as you've probably noticed, one of the pinnacles for Matchbox collectors, the reverse colour rec truck. And that is considered to be, one of the most sought after and rarest Matchbox toys. It's certainly, I would say, particularly with regular wheel collectors, that's in everybody's top 10. It was been on my radar for a long time. Okay, so I'll come back to that one in a moment, but we'll talk about box designs first. So we start off with the E2 box. Okay, and the E2 box has the little sort of model as an illustration in the white circle here. There's no E1, so we've got an E2, okay, with the new model text on the early one and without the new model text. So then you sort of move on to a later E2 type box. You see that's like a lighter blue rather than a darker blue. The earlier D boxes, they tend to use a darker blue print, and as they went on, as you can see, the blue actually sort of lightened down. There's the E3, okay, with the picture end flap. E4 with again the picture end flap. You can't see the end flap on this one, but that's the E4 box. Then we move to the F, and you've got the Superfast one. So we'll do the regular one and Superfast ones together. Two sort of variations of the F box. Essentially, these are the same as I said before. It's got some text down here. Now, as for matching colour art, and this is why this one was on my top two of hard to find models, really, because I've been looking for matching model to artwork for a long time now, and this one always eluded me. And the reason it does, okay, because A, it's very rare, and secondly, when you do find one, there are very high premiums to pay. I was actually offered one of those by a friend about 15 years ago, and I'll tell you guys, I didn't have the money for it. It's as simple as that. But years down the line, you end up paying 3 or 4 times more for it, because as you get older, I don't know, you just seem to become a little bit more affluent. You pay your mortgage, kids are left home, all that sort of thing. So I did eventually get that, and I only bought that about 3 years ago. Okay, very lucky to get that from a very well-known Matchbox guy in the community. Okay, and he got it from the States, and I'll come to that story as well. But as you can see, the reason that it was so high on my priority was that you had the matching artwork box. Now, the reverse colour E box, early E2 box, I'm not saying it's common, but I mean, I've got 2 there for starters. I mean, that's gettable. I mean, you will pay a premium for that over the later E box showing the model, the colours other way around, but it is a gettable box. So Lesney did make tens of thousands of those boxes, but the story goes that when this was commissioned by Chrysler, who own Dodge, as I'm sure you Americans know, they didn't care for it. Either Matchbox messed up and they got the colours around the wrong way, but Chrysler wanted it to be yellow cab with green rear. So a few handfuls went out, and when Chrysler saw it, they went, no, we're not happy about that. Interestingly, I say Lesney did produce tens of thousands of boxes, but they only did a very small run of the reverse colour production model. So as you say, when Chrysler saw it, they said, no, you've got to change that. So that's what happened. Now, it's possible that they may have made a few thousand of those. We don't actually know the numbers, and they didn't go out the factory, and they repainted them to replicate this colour scheme. I mean, that's possible as well. But what I can tell you, there's not that many out there. There really isn't, and it's only the real prime top collections that have got those reverse colour rec trucks. The other one for me up in the same league is the 62C Mercury Cougar. Again, same thing, the E-Box shows the cream model. That is a model I never got. Again, I was offered one at the same time as this 15 years ago, but I just couldn't afford it at the time. And, which is a shame, but, needs must back then. So that's the reverse colour rec truck. And the reverse colourette truck does have a casting variation. The actual crane jibs here don't have the casting brace, so they're quite thin here, and it has the grey hook as well. When they sort of recoloured it, of course, subsequently it was all then yellow with green rear all the way through until the Superfast version. So these are all fairly similar, and the only sort of variations to talk about, as you can see, are the hook colours. So it's grey or red. There's possibly a few with a yellow hook. I don't know. I'm not sure about that because these hooks can be, they can be swapped around and things. So if you do find one with a yellow hook, then don't pay a lot of money for it. Essentially, I think that's the best advice to give. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's hard to prove that it's right or wrong, so just don't pay a lot of money for it because it's only a plastic hook at the end of the day. So grey hook to red hook, and the early wreckers had a water slide decal, which is what I said before is like when you built Airfix kits as a kit, you had these water slide decals that would slide off a sheet and then they would apply. And then as we got into the late 60s, they started using labels, which again, they're a peel off a label sheet and they're just stuck on the side there. One interesting thing you'll see is my last issue of Rec Truck is a much darker yellow cab than the other one, so that was quite a nice variation to find. And again, it's hard to sort of see the proper colour difference unless you see it in the flesh. And when you put it next to a sort of the paler lemon, it does actually stand out as quite a nice bright yellow. But then with the Superfast, they went back to the paler yellow again. Now, that may have been, I don't know, just a darker paint batch that was wrong and it got used on a few models. Who knows? So then we're going on to the Superfast. Again, a small production run on the Dodge Rec Truck. No real sort of variations to talk about as such. There is a couple of wheel variations. I mean, they're all 5 spokes. But you do get a smaller 5-spoke wheel and a larger 5-spoke wheel, and there are a few sort of models out there that went with the SO label here rather than the BP, and you normally find that in the service station gift set. So again, that's quite a rare model that does actually fetch a very, very high premium. No interim Superfast F-box. Again, some did, some didn't. So only the G-box on the Superfast. And as far as I know, there aren't any variations of that G-box. So that covers the Rec Truck, which I think again is one of those delightful models. We spoke about the matching box artwork. One thing I didn't say is that you'll see on the very early D boxes, it does actually show clear glass here. But the important thing is the reverse colour, which is the one to have. On the later boxes, particularly on the left, you will see the green tint start to creep in, and on the Superfast one, it's an exact match, albeit it does show a narrow 5-spoke rather than a wide 5-spoke. That may exist. There's no reason why it shouldn't, but you generally see it with wide wheels. While we're on the 13D, I'll just show you some better pictures of the reverse colour Rec Truck, because it is, that is one of the prime pieces in my whole collection. So I was very, very lucky to get that. I paid a lot of money for it, but hey, that was worth it, because there's not many of us that managed to get that model, and that's a very nice example of it. Absolutely genuine, with some great provenance to it. I'm just going to take you to the Vectis website at the moment, because they've done a really good job, of giving the sort of background provenance of that model. And this chap here is Ed Fosdyke, who was Chief Engineer of Design and Safety for the Chrysler Group. He originally owned that, and it was his daughter Wendy that actually sold that on a eBay auction a few years ago. I didn't directly buy it from the eBay auction. I actually bought it from the guy that bought it off the eBay auction. But whoever's lucky enough to buy this at the Vectis auction, they will give you this provenance. They will give you the letter from Wendy, Ed's daughter,